Look at that critter. Good morning, everyone. I am in Marysville, California. Still, second day in a row. I have come back to the Bacchae Temple down here, levee adjacent in Marysville, California. And this is the Sometimes Vlog. It's a vlog that happens sometimes. So I was just inside of the Bacchae Temple, which is an active Chinese temple with very active worshippers, or whatever you call them, attendees, partakers of the temple-ness in there, doing temple things. I put some pictures on my Instagram, Justin Scard on Instagram. So that was very interesting. And the reason that I was inside visiting the temple in there is because I just spent about an hour and 20 minutes with author and historian, I think his name is Lawrence Tom, who is operating right now with his wife Mary the Chinese American Museum of Northern California, which we saw the outside of yesterday and which I intended to show you the inside of today, but I wasn't able to. Oh, by the way, look at this. We passed this building yesterday. Local historical site. Davis Hotel. This, my friends, was a brothel back in the day. So, you know, before that levee was here in Marysville, you just pull your boat up and just cruise around. I'm sure there was another bunch of buildings facing that way, but you come down the alley and just hang out right here in this hotel. And, you know, just, there was no forever alone back then, I guess, as long as you had money. Anyway, I spent over an hour, with this wonderful couple in here, wonderful Cantonese couple in here, learning even more than I already thought I knew about Chinese Americans in California and the building of the West. It was very, very cool. Unfortunately, their policy is no photography or videography or sometimes vlogging inside the museum. So I wanted badly to show you the inside of the museum, although I guess it really doesn't matter because you can come see it yourself the first Saturday of every month from noon to 4 p.m. Bam! Also, I learned more about what these buildings are. These were Tong buildings, which were sort of like benevolent associations or Elks Lodge or Moose Lodge or labor unions. It just really sort of depends. You may know them from 1980s movies. Here's a guy with a leaf blower, how about that? Like gangs, you know, like, oh, Tongs are like gangs. And according to Lawrence in there, or Mr. Tom rather, some of the Tongs are very much gangs, like they run crazy prostitution and drugs and stuff, but most of the Tongs back in the day put together labor contracts and ship people's bones back to China so that they wouldn't have to be buried on foreign soil here in America. And so these were kind of like, you know, headquarters of various family groups, mostly family groups or clan groups from China to like help take care of them in the US. So I learned more about what these really cool looking buildings are, that this used to be a bean sprout factory. So they grow those bean sprouts like you have in Chow Mein here, and the family lived upstairs, and so there's a very, very small remnant of the Chinese population of Marysville left. Basically, I was being told that most of them got really well educated and took off for bigger and better things, but there's a very, very small remnant remaining. And apparently, as far as gold rush towns are concerned, and not big major cities, but as far as gold rush towns are concerned, apparently Marysville has one of the last remaining Chinatowns, in that most of the structures here that were part of Chinatown still exist. So once a year they have the Bacchae Festival, or on Bomb Day, which is where they put together a bunch of crazy firecrackers with these rings on them, these lucky blessed rings on them, and they fight over them and do all this crazy stuff. And there's a dragon in the street, and we missed it by a couple weeks. But that happens here in Marysville too. Anyway, so I'm going to keep this super, super short and sweet. I just wanted to supplement the stuff from yesterday by saying you can go to the ChineseAmericanMuseum.com. Pretty sure that's the address. Chinese American Museum of Northern California. ChineseAmericanMuseum.com. And they have this whole history thing that they've written talking about the history of Chinese immigrants in building Gold Rush era California and what happened and why there isn't a bigger Chinese population, the Exclusion Act, and all kinds of really interesting stuff. It's really simplified and a really good read, and they had it up on the walls in there, but you can also find it on their website. Tom, oh, my car's over here. also, Mr. Tom rather, also wrote a book, one of those Images of America books with the old historic photos. That's Leafy, the leaf blower guy. Don't worry about him. He just likes to get attention. Anyway, wrote the book on Marysville, and of course I had to purchase a copy because when you're with someone who wrote a book, you just have to buy their book, right? It's part of the rules. So right here inside the Mustang, I now have a copy of this. So if you do live in the area or you're planning on visiting the area, pick this up. Images of America, Marysville's Chinatown, right here. Lawrence Tom, and he signed the book, of course, right in there. Look at that. Signature achieved. Of course, I have a signed book from Jeff Heimbuch. I'll have to throw that away now because there can only be one. It's like Highlander. Anyway, I'm still in Northern California, but just for a bit, I'll be back in Southern California definitely by Monday because I've got things to do, videos to film, wonderful things. This is just sort of my spring break here until after Easter. And then back to work, folks. But there is some Instagram pictures on my Instagram at Justin Scard. So go check those out of the Bak Kai Temple. And now that I've seen a crazy Chinese temple, I'm going to wash that off with Easter weekend here. No idea what's going to finish up Easter weekend. But here's just a little sometimes vlog and just a little short hello from me. Sorry it's in low quality, but I'm uploading it from data in the middle of nowhere. Do you see any towers here of Wi-Fi? I don't. Not really the middle of nowhere, it's just I don't have any Wi-Fi at the present moment. So I didn't have time to build it to scale or to paint it. Make sure to visit livefastdiepoor.spreadshirt.com. Go see Tyler Evans, rock journalist, Instagram, and Adam the Woo. You got the Daily Woo over there. Tyler and Adam doing crazy stuff. YouTube.com/TheDailyWoo. Those guys, those friends of mine are down in Southern California still, up to shenanigans and hijinks and no goodness. No goodness. So go check that out. I love you all. Thank you for getting at me on Twitter, Instagram, hanging out. There are about 100 Random Land videos over on youtube.com/LiveFastDiePoor and a ton of stuff on the website. And there's a ton more stuff coming up. So there's lots of stuff to watch if you haven't watched it already, and share if you haven't shared it already. And people keep asking me, like, how can we help and do stuff and the quest for positivity, and we like what you guys do. Just simple, really. If you like those videos over there, please share them. If you like any of the Sometimes vlogs, please share them. And of course, you can go to livefastdiepoor@spreadshirt.com. That's how we eat food, or at least that's how I eat food. And you can always donate too at livefastdiepoor.com. There's a little donate button on the side. Puts gas in the tank. Not for stuff like this. This is just me taking my own money and going out of town for a few days to pay off my debt to society in the form of the traffic ticket yesterday and just chill a little bit. But puts gas in the tank for some crazy adventures which are coming up. So if Random Land videos are a little spaced out at the moment, it's because I'm preparing some epic ones I've been saving money to go do, and they're going to be awesome. So I love you all. That's what's going on. I'll talk to you guys later, okay? Instagram, Justin Scard. Check out the Bak Kai Temple. And I'm going to check out these hooligans pulling up to the levee, hanging out with Leafy. Is that a Chevy truck? That is. There's an old Chevy. He pulled his Chevy up to the levee. But the levee was dry because the levee is above the water level. Think he's drinking whiskey and rye? He's definitely not singing "This'll Be the Day That I Die." Okay, I gotta go. Goodbye.